Everyone, and welcome back to the SCG Game Night here at Grey Ogre Games. My name is Mick, I'm your host for tonight, and we are watching the match here between Matthew Lai and Po Pengjie on the left and right respectively. Matthew should be piloting a black-green Delirium deck, and Pengjie looks like he is piloting maybe the exact same deck, so this will be an interesting match to watch. Black-green Delirium versus black-green Delirium. On our other feature match table, we have Erickson Borabo versus Risaldo Antonio. And yeah, if you're new to this, new to all of this, you've got to know that we do these weekly, every Tuesday and Wednesday nights. Tuesday we do standard, Wednesday we do modern. 3 rounds of real people playing real cards of Magic. We all start at 8 p.m. Singapore time. But if you miss it, it's okay. You can just tune into our YouTube page, youtube.com/Grey Ogre Games, to watch all the replays, because we put up all the replays right after the tournament itself. So yeah. Alright, back to the game. It looks like Pengjie being able to resolve a Grim Flayer there. No response from Matthew. Having the first 2 turns laid tapped lands, but if there's any time that he wanted to get rid of that Grim Flayer, he ought to do it now. Maybe cast a Grim Flayer of his own. So he does, in fact, cast a Grim Flayer of his own. And not to waste any mana, he casts his Vessel of Nascency. Pengjie's turn has a grip full of... a grip. And if he swings, I am sure that there's going to be the block. So he decides not to because... Oh, right, we did not realize Pengjie here has Delirium in the graveyard already. He's got a creature, enchantment, land, and planeswalker. So very efficient Vessel of Nascency there. So maybe Matthew can follow up with something similar. Pengjie here probably going to look for a green source. He casts another Vessel of Nascency, or maybe potentially casts a Traverse the Woven Wall. And okay, so he doesn't cast a Traverse the Woven Wall, but that show, those theatrics do give it away that he does have a Traverse in hand. So Matthew has to play around that, or has to play with that in mind. Here, I think you just swing in with the Grim Flayer Connect and see if you can hit Delirium, or do you go for it? I don't think so, right? So he goes for it instead. So revealing a few other key cards here. Sorcery, land, which looks like what he might be going for, so that he can hit Delirium. So now he has hit Delirium. He's got sorcery, enchantment, creature, and land. Not the optimal choice, but of course it's better than nothing, I guess. So he keeps the land, and he's going to be swinging in with his own Grim Flayer. I don't think Pengjie will be blocking anytime soon. Bang. Does he want to block? Because he can cast the... Does he have another Grim Flayer? So here you get to stack your deck, and let's see what is important. See a Noxious Gearhawk on the top. Maybe a Noxious Gearhawk wants to go into the graveyard. It's 2 mana away from being able to cast a Noxious Gearhawk anyway. And he can recur it with a Grapple with the Past. So what are the options right now? Does he want to stack it on top? Keep it on top, or let it drop? and decides to drop those two into the graveyard to increase his count to 6. Okay, so now it's gone up to 5. And looks like he will be using the Vessel of Nascency next turn. Yeah, okay, so this is the plan. Probably the way that he kept it. Use the Vessel of Nascency, get the Liliana, kill off your opponent's Pilgrim's Eye, and potentially, yeah, Peng Jie here. Okay, so Matthew just rechecking the order. Doesn't really matter what it is because so the only thing that will change, is that the Vessel of Nascency gets to see another 2 cards. Does he want any one of those 2 cards? And this really depends on what. Oh, so he dumps both anyway. Alright, so he dumps both anyway, so probably going to use a Grapple with the Past instead of the Vessel of Nascency in this case. Alright, so Transgress the Mind here, going to see nothing except a Pilgrim's Eye, and he sees a hand just full of lands. 2 lands, a Transgress, not Transgress the Mind, a Grapple with the Past, and a Traverse the Woven Wall. So Traverse the Woven Wall will be very powerful, can help him look for any creature. He'll probably not use the Grapple of the Past yet. He'll probably use the Vessel of Nascency first to dig deeper into his deck, so maybe some more answers. But right now, Peng Jie gonna flip over his he's going to cash in his Vessel of Nascency, see what's up with the deck. Picks out a land, because I believe his hand might not have, might be a bit little land light. Matthew takes the 5 points of damage, and now Peng Jie gets to flip the next 3 cards. Is the land important? What does Peng Jie have in hand? That is the question. So it looks like he values all 3 cards. He's just going to keep all 3 cards there. I think at this point, if you have lands in hand, then just keep the lands. I don't think it's prudent for you to keep the lands. You can just dump the lands, yeah. But looks like he wants that 7 lands so that he can call upon Emrakul. Probably. Doesn't have all 7 card types in the graveyard yet. So Matthew, so Matthew instead going for the Vessel of Nascency. Yep, okay. It makes sense. Vessel of Nascency, gonna see 4 lands and Ishkana, 3 lands and Ishkana, of course picking out the MVP Ishkana, and the Emrakul just drawn into hand. He has 3 more turns. If he casts the Ishkana now, then he can't grapple the Past and cast the Noxious Gearhawk next turn. So maybe he swings in with the Grim Flayer first to go scope out what is happening on the other side. Of the not the other side, but the next 3 cards of his deck. So that's a possibility. I think more information is going to be useful. So he swings first, connects. Peng Jie also goes down to 12. And he sees something very useful. It keeps the removal on the top. So looks like Ishkana gonna hit the battlefield. And next turn is going to be an Emrakul, but of course Peng Jie doesn't know it because Matthew hasn't cast a single spell yet that would reveal that he does have Emrakul in hand. Did not look for it from his graveyard, did not even cast Traverse the Woven Wall. And this might catch Peng Jie off his guard. So here gonna go for the value play. Lay a land, get a clue. He gets an Emerald clue. Very fitting. And passes the turn. He just crack the clue next turn. Alright, so this turn is the one where Emrakul drops, I think. He's already got 7 card types in the graveyard. Enchantment, creature, land, sorcery, instant, as well as Planeswalker, and he goes for the Emrakul, and here is, there seems to be no reply. He's gonna crack a clue, draw a card. I don't quite like that play right there, that he cracked the clue to draw. Alright, so now the turn belongs to Matthew. Alright, so probably gonna traverse and waste the traverse. And going to... So a few creatures are gonna die right now. In fact, all the creatures are going to die right now. Except for the Hissing Quagmire, unless of course Matthew wants to prevent Peng Jie from doing much. So he could run the Hissing Quagmire into 2 of the spiders, killing 1 of the spiders. I think that is favorable. He can block the Tireless Tracker. So block the tracker with Ishkana. So he's going to animate that. Nope. He's going to leave 1 green because, you know, you got to cast that that sweet. Not attacking with the... Alright, okay, I see. So he's not attacking with the Pilgrim's Eye, but I think he can attack with the Pilgrim's Eye because all he has to do is just block with one of his spiders. Matthew, come on, attack with the Pilgrim's Eye. Attack with the Pilgrim's Eye. Oh no, he doesn't want to attack with the Pilgrim's Eye, so to make sure that Peng Jie doesn't have what do you call it? Doesn't get more value out of his artifact. And if he attacks next turn, like, you know, Matthew's not going to block. So he's going to cast... Wow, this is a devastating turn. This is a really, really harsh turn. Peng Jie just lost a land, lost most of his board. Not getting back up with his resources. This version is the one that runs Mind Rack Demons, which I like a lot. Mind Rack Demons, pretty good. And so he knows the makeup of the deck. This is the other version of the mid-range black-green Delirium deck. Runs more what you call it? Mind Rack Demons. Although I am curious why it isn't running Verdura's Gearhulk though. So yeah, that is, well, I guess that's my only complaint. Like, you should be running Verdura's Gearhulk. Imagine the power. So Liliana is the top deck. Or Liliana is in the top deck. It's a card. He gets back the Emrakul. I think it's a little too late. Grim Flayer here. Already has Delirium. Needs to figure out how much does the Emrakul cost. I think he was better off taking the Noxious Gearhulk. Yeah, but that's 12 points of damage, which means that Peng Jie is sort of dead just from the Emrakul. It's a 13/13 flying with trample, which means even blocking with the 1/1 Pilgrim's Eye would be lethal. So alright, so Grasp of Darkness there, going to kill the right, okay, so the Emrakul gets taken to task, -2, -1. Alright, we're going to game 2. While they are shuffling up, I'm going to switch over to the match between Risaldo and Ericsson. So Risaldo Antonio versus Ericsson Barabo. And Risaldo probably playing his bunt wagon. And Ericsson looks like he's playing a green energy deck, green X energy deck. Turn 2, Copter, very nice. Smuggler's Copter probably going to be met with another Smuggler's Copter. Unfortunately, I think Risaldo's one is a little faster. Though he doesn't want to play his creatures without any benefit. So, turn 2, Smuggler's Copter as well. Risaldo, does he want to waste his mana? I guess that's the question. Do you hold up for a Spell Queller? And that looks like Spell Queller mana to me, don't you think? Spire Bluff. So this is the 4-color, maybe Pummeler deck? Possibly it's the Pummeler deck. And Risaldo just going to pass the turn. So this is Drago. Gonna try to resolve the Servant of the Conduit, gets eaten up by Spell Queller. And Ericsson gonna pass the turn, doesn't have a land to follow up with that. And most likely just drew the Servant of the Conduit. And here Risaldo going to go on the offensive, not leaving up mana for a potential Eversyn, which kind of signifies that he doesn't have the Eversyn in play. Gonna pilot up that Copter, they're gonna swing in for 5, draw and discard. Maybe draw into the Eversyn. And instead has a Blessed Alliance. So most likely Ericsson's deck is the blue-red, the red-green energy deck. Ericsson now going down to 15. He just passes the turn. So does Ericsson have anything to reply to that? First off, he needs lands, and that looks like an Aether Hub to me. Yep, Aether Hub going up to 3 energy. That looks like a Scrap Heap Scrounger. Second Smuggler's Copter, not going to be bothering anyone. Scrap Heap Scrounger, and passes the turn. So Antonio going to Stasis Snare the Scrap Heap Scrounger. Now there's nothing to fear. He can just try to resolve everything, including a Gideon if he wants to. I'm gonna give the Thraben Inspector a Chopper license, and they're gonna swing in. Finds another land, and Ericsson now down to 10. This is going to be a relatively quick game. This looks like it's a relatively quick game. Okay, so Tyler's tracker here. Risaldo going to crack a clue. Doesn't find an answer for the Tyler's tracker. He's just going to pass. Ericsson here, no lands. No lands, unfortunately. He needs to figure out something very, very soon. And Risaldo here can still probably attack in with his Chopper. Alright, especially with the Selfless Spirit here. Probably can attack in with the Chopper, but I'm not sure whether you want to give your opponent the loot effect. So he's going to draw this card. Has a Spell Shriver in hand, so he can counter any spell, almost any spell that Ericsson throws at him. But he gets rid of a Spell Shriver. That's interesting. So he's going to pilot up the Chopper of his own. Going to block. Going to get to loot now. Ericsson looks like he's going to be looking for lands, and he does draw. No, he doesn't draw a land. Does he? So Selfless Spirit might get sacrificed in this exchange. Voltaic Brawler gets dumped. So cool. The chopper killed the Selfless Spirit. Reflector Mage gonna bounce that back. So yeah. Alright, we're going to transition back to Matthew versus Peng Jia. I'll give you an update on Rizaldo's and Ericsson's match in a bit. If I can concentrate on two screens at once, or like two images at once. Stereo vision, yo. Peng Jia here, the standard start for Green-Black Delirium, having a Vessel of Nascency followed up by another untapped land. So it's probably going to be looking for stuff in a bit. But Grim Flayer here from Matthew, I think a much better start, a much cleaner start. I think the Grim Flayer is going to be essential in trying to get Matthew his Delirium. Fortunately, does he have a third land? And Peng Jia here going to discard a few things just to get some more lands. Pilgrim's Eye here going to be looking for a fourth land. No, it doesn't look for the land. Peng Jia doesn't look for land. Oh, okay, this is interesting. So he takes the 2 points of damage. Alright, so that was a mistrigger. Interesting. So this is where we don't intervene, people. A lot of people have been complaining, hey, you intervene at certain points, at the wrong points. No. I think I intervene at the right points. Cool. Update from Ericsson's table. Looks like Ericsson is sort of stabilizing. I say sort of because not fully stabilized, but not out of the game yet. Matthew going to toss away his Grass of Darkness here. Liliana, nope. Is a Pilgrim's Eye. He's going to look for land. And yeah, Peng Jia may be a little nervous. Did not look for the basic land from the Pilgrim's Eye there. Maybe he didn't need to. So that was a strange play. Going to be looking for even more lands. And there he goes. Gets the basic land. He has Delirium. It just passes the turn. Okay, so now Matthew doesn't have Delirium yet. But he could activate Delirium by playing the Vessel of Nascency and cracking the Vessel of Nascency. Alright, okay, so the two chopper, the two what do you call it? Pilgrim's Eye do trade off, which triggers Delirium on Matthew's side, so he didn't really have to worry. Does he want to keep the Nisa? I think it is sort of what? Does the commentator speak with this funny accent? Yeah, we're here from Singapore. It is a funny accent. It's very different. If you ever played the game Just Cause, I think it's Just Cause 2. Or was it Just Cause 3? No, Just Cause 2. Just Cause 3 is coming up. If you ever played Just Cause 2 and you met this person called Bolo Santosi, she is also from Singapore, but unfortunately she doesn't have the Singaporean accent. So yeah, it is the Singaporean accent. It's a curse. It's a gift. It's a curse. Who knows? Update from Rizaldo and Ericsson's table. It looks like Rizaldo has won the match. So he was playing the blue-white flash deck, and yeah. So going back to the game here. Transgress the Mind. What does it pick? It takes out the Nisa, which could potentially be cast next turn. Emrakul, not much of the problem. So 3 turns in a row, gonna get 3. Gonna look for 3 lands, and not even bothering with the rest of the cards because he kind of needs lands, and those were like 4 lands off the top. I won't say unfortunate set of draws, but the could have been very different, you know. So he has traverse the Umwald for, let me guess, Ishkana would be good. Yeah, Ishkana would be good. That would shut down Matthew's attack right now, for now. Oh, okay. So instead looks for Gonti. Gonti, very interesting ability. Very unique ability, one might say. Looks like Nisa's going to hit the battlefield, and I think Matthew's going to be playing the tempo game here. Gonti is a 2-3 with Death Touch. Also, that is relevant. Nisa going to hit the battlefield, going to untap one of his lands, going to bash in. It is a 5-5. Going to deal 9 points of damage. That is a lot. That is a lot, by the way. Not a small amount of damage. He goes down to 7, and Matthew's going to trigger the Grim Flayer. And I think he wants to keep the Murder on top. Definitely wants to keep all the cards in that order, because this might change. Might want the land on top as well. So if he ultis the Nisa, casts the land, he knows the Gonti is going to be coming, so it's okay. I don't like him keeping the Murder on top because he knows Gonti is coming. And that's going to see 4 cards, which means that now Peng Jie has access to a Murder, as opposed to just a simple Grim Flayer. So he's going to take the, I heard Matthew, just overheard Matthew say, I forgot about the Gonti. Nope, Gonti is ever present, Gonti is there. That actually seems like a dire mistake from Matthew's side. I don't think that should have been done. Matthew could go for the win here. He could try to kill right now, swing in with everything, convert that land. Convert that land into a creature, swing in, and then Peng Jie will be left with 1. He will not have the Gonti anymore, but he will still be able to cast that card, which, you know, he needs 3 mana and then needs another creature on top of that to block the 5-5. So he looks for a Noxious Gearhawk, which will gain him some life. If, of course, he draws a land. He doesn't have a land yet. So Matthew gonna untap. So does Matthew try to kill his opponent? So yeah, Peng Jie there getting the Noxious Gear Hulk, but the Noxious Gear Hulk is 6 mana. He needs that extra mana. Does he try to kill his opponent? I think you do. You tick up Nisa, swing in with both land and the Green Flayer. Then you cast the Pilgrim's Eye. Look for the land. Lay the land. And then you still can cast the Traverse the Woven Wall. Look for Emrakul. And then crack the Vessel of Nascency. Oh man, okay, so... Alright, so a different sequence of plays. Alright, so he already has the land. Gonna get a clue. He could cash in his Nisa. Well, he could have cashed in his Nisa. It was a little too late to cash it in right now. I think you swing in with both. You tick up Nisa. Swing in with the Grim Flayer and the land. Wow, okay. So Matthew gonna be stuck in the loop. I got to inform Matthew to play a little faster. Just gonna give him maybe 10 more seconds from here. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, so Gonti trades off with the Gonti trades off with the Grim Flayer, and here we see Emrakul already ready to go. So does he take the Emrakul? Does he leave it on the top? Because anything that he casts right now is not going to be... I think the sequence of play here was a little wrong. I think he could have swung in with the 5/5 land. Alright, so Mindwreck Demon goes into graveyard and leaves the Emrakul on top. +1 to the Nisa. He's gonna cast the Pilgrim's Eye. He can look for the Emrakul, no problem. Looks for a Swamp. Gonna untap one of his green sources, most likely, and then cast the Emrakul. Cast the... Alright, gonna cash in his Nisa. That puts it at 6. Which means that next time he can cast the Emrakul. No, that doesn't seem right. So he cashes in his Nisa for the emblem. Nope. Doesn't seem right. He just takes it up more. -3. He's going to take back the Mindwreck Demon and just going to pass the turn. Alright, so here it is. Does Peng Jie draw a land? Of course, he tops deck the land. Matthew here trying to play around the... did refused to go for the kill, which I think was the wrong line of play there. And now if he takes up the Nisa, might be a little worse off. Peng Jie there has enough mana to crack the clue, making the Tyler Striker a 4-3. So he's just going to swing in with everyone. Chip away at Peng Jie's life total. If he already has one Pilgrim's Eye in the graveyard. I know Macro Dark Star. I know it feels bad. Yeah, he can murder the land. He does have the murder in hand already, which is why Matthew is trying to build up to the Emrakul. That's what I feel. So you could actually trade in his Nisa right now. Okay, so he's gonna Grasp of Darkness. Yeah, he can murder land for sure. So that's something that that Matthew should be aware of. But last turn he couldn't murder the land. That's why I thought he could have gone all in last turn. Leave Peng Jie down to 1. Force him to use the murder on the Pilgrim's Eye. So here he reveals he's got the murder, gonna destroy the land. That's fine. That goes in the graveyard. But Peng Jie gonna here take 4, 5. Oh, he's got not enough. He's gonna take 5. He's gonna crack the clue in response. Yeah, before damage he cracks the clue, and that ends the game. All right. So that's it. It's a land until your next turn. No. It's not a land until your next. It's a creature until your next turn. Charles Stover. So that is slightly different. Looks like Matthew wins game 1 and game 2 back to back. Congratulations to Matthew. They're moving ahead in the tournament. So it's going to be 2-0. Probably going to meet up with Jeffrey and gang. Alright, thanks for joining us. This is only round 2. Oh no, I put that round 1. It's actually round 2. I forgot to change the rounds. Let me do that right now. I could just change it to round 3 so that, next time I don't forget. Anyway, you've been watching the SCG game night here at Grey Ogre Games. We still got one more round, so don't go away. Make sure you stay with us, but I'm going to put you on the replay in the meantime. But before I go, just want to remind you that if you like what you're watching, and if you're bored on a Wednesday or Tuesday night, you can join us for the stream. Tuesday nights we have standard, Wednesday nights we have modern. 3 rounds of real people playing real cards of Magic here at Grey Ogre Games in Singapore, 83 Club Street, Singapore. And sometimes on the weekends we also have tournaments, but not all the time, and we don't stream all of them. So make sure you follow our Facebook page. Make sure you follow our Twitch channel to stay up to date with all the happenings. All the haps. And last but not least, it's a land creature. Yeah, it's not a land thing. Last but not least, do listen to the Power 9 podcast. Every week, myself and Alfian, we get together and we talk about Magic the Gathering. This week, we talk about Hasbro as a company. And also, we talk about, Hasbro and WotC as a company. And we talk about the EMA reprints. Full stop. Not gonna spoil anything. Alright, we are going to go for a short break. So don't go away. We'll be right back. See you guys.